And if you're just joining us, we still beginning to learn a bit more and unpack what has happened in the last hour, the resignation of Osei Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu. And the pictures you see on your screens right now are pictures that we're exclusively receiving now from that meeting at which Osei Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu resigned. He resigned and immediately was confirmed as the chairman of Dr. Bawumia's manifesto committee. And the man replacing him is his current deputy, Alexander Fenyo-Markin, who you see there. And this is just when all of them had just exited that all-important meeting at the Jubilee House. And a number of the majority members were in this meeting on the back of the confusion that erupted yesterday when Joe Owusu, the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, had addressed that press conference warning external agents who want to impose on them a new leadership to back off. Well, as we now know, if there was ever an external agent, that agent prevailed because that change has happened. Osei Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu, as you see in that shot, and that handshake there is one that you can read 1,000 meanings into. As you see there, the Alexander Fenyo-Markin shaking the hands of Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu right after he's learned that he was going to become the majority leader. Not that he didn't know before, because we all knew that he had been penciled as a replacement for him if he exited, except for the friction that had erupted. This would have been something that would have happened long ago. It's happened now. Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu has exited, and as we've been reporting from everything else that has happened over the last Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu, in fact, I was supposed to interview him last week, but he, obviously from everything that was happening, he knew. In fact, there was a point that I said to him or somebody close to him that it's very possible by the time that we actually sit down to talk, you may not be the majority leader. It turns out that, yes, indeed, he isn't a majority leader as of tonight. And those pictures are exclusive from that meeting that happened a short while ago. It's been a marathon one indeed. And the meeting was called because of the friction that emerged yesterday. A friction that emerged with a very public opposition to an attempt to change the leadership. And the president and the party's leadership thought they should close ranks, come together, and find a way to effect the changes without too much rancor. In that meeting, Osei Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu tendered his resignation. And Alexander Fenyo-Markin was confirmed as his replacement, and which is what you see there on your screens playing out. But there's a lot more that you don't see in the pictures.
And Evans, in fact, Alexander Fenyo-Markin has his work cut out for him because of the new standing orders. They have to reconstitute all committees. And in fact, the only thing they did today was the appointments committee because of the vetting that has to be done with the ministerial names.
So that has been constituted already.
So Fenyo-Markin now has to decide on all the other committees, all standing and other committees. As leader, he has to get to work immediately with his team. And we expect that in the coming hours, as soon as this evening, the information we just got from an MP who was in that meeting is that the party expects to put out a message that this is something that they've been able to confirm and this is what is going to happen. And tomorrow, the Speaker of Parliament will have the cause, will have the chance to read that letter from the New Patriotic Party confirming that Fenyo-Markin will now be the majority leader. In fact, one other person says that all the things we've said about a leadership change, it wasn't really a leadership change. It was Osei Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu change. Because nobody in the current leadership is going to be changed. They are just going to get promotions. Apart from Lydia Al-Hassan, who had been appointed as a minister, who was clearly going out, all of them are going to stay. Alexander Fenyo-Markin is going to move one step. The chief whip, Frank Anadon, who has also not been in parliament for the last 2 days. Since all this rancor has been happening, he has been missing in action. When you call him, he says, let them deal with it. He will come back later. He's been in Sawam all along. We expect that tomorrow, with this now, he
become the deputy
majority leader will come in. Habib Idrisu will now assume the role as chief whip. Alex Tete will come in as the second deputy, and then the MP for Asokwa will also come in. So clearly, the duties have to be done now. When we got Alexander Fenyo-Markin, he was expecting to speak, but then I said he has to run away immediately because he has to do a few things now. And we understand he is probably going to be in a meeting with Osei Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu alone this evening to try and clear out a few issues that have come up, so that Osei Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu is clear in his head that as his boss, he had clearly backed him on this. And Evans, one particular thing that we also have to look is what Osei Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu said. It became such a big issue when Haruna Idrisu was changed. They offered him Colin Zada's seat. He said he wouldn't take it. Colin Zada wouldn't even give it to him. It became such a big issue.
I remember that, in fact, it was visible on the floor, very public disagreements about where he sits and where he doesn't sit.
The unfortunate thing on the majority side, however, is that those two other seats that are in front, that are not behind anybody, are occupied by the first and second deputy speakers. And the speakers cannot sit behind any person. They have to sit in front. So clearly, Osei Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu now losing that black seat, and it should be stated that since 2000, Osei Kyei-Mensah-Bonsu has been in leadership permanently as whip, deputy majority leader, and leader. He has seen it all throughout. So he has been in front seat for 24 years, and in the final year, he now has to take a back seat, and so clearly he would have to sit behind the leadership because the first and second deputy speakers cannot make their way by the architecture.